Hi everybody. I just went live and did a video about the power of sacred protection. And I had a bunch of you join in, and that was really personal because it really opens me up to talk about my personal journey. And I'm going through a lot right now, and so I'm really grateful to be able to share with you all and for your presence in my life. Whether in person or not, it doesn't matter. I'm just so grateful that you're here with me. So I promised in that video just a minute ago that I was going to do a reading. And here I am with my cards. So who's excited? Who's ready? Because I am. I'm always excited. Sometimes I don't do readings for a few days for myself, and then all of a sudden I'm doing a bunch every day. And each time is just as exciting. It's like, what do you want to tell me? What's going to be revealed? So, whatever's on your mind right now, let it go. Doesn't matter. Maybe you first need to acknowledge something before you let it all go. So, whatever needs your attention, breathe it in and then breathe it out. Be here with me. Thank you for being here with me. See your energy coming at me into these cards with love and intention of healing. I shuffle a lot, as you all know, because every day I'm shuffling. That's my theme song. But I've already shuffled them a few times. But I'm just going to do a little more while you all tune in. I'm so glad you're all here. This lights me up. This lights me up. Oh, thank you for being here. Oh, so good. I'm so emotional right now. Wah! Okay, so now that they're very shuffled, I'm going to begin. You all in here? What's up? Okay, good. Wait. Okay. You're here. You're never anywhere else anyway. You're always right here, right now. And I know that. Alright. I got some baby wipes on this table, some chopsticks, some little Lego wheels. This is what happens when you live with a 6-year-old. Okay. By that I mean my son. He's my 6-year-old. Thank you for your kind words. I really appreciate that. All of you. And I'm still shuffling. Okay. Ready. Rebecca, we are ready. Are you ready? We're ready. Okay. Hey, Daniel. You want to put your energy into the deck? Your intention for healing. We let everything else go. We are here now, healing now. Healing here now. I hope. Whew. Okay. Let's begin. I'm talking to myself because I know you guys are ready. I'm the only one that keeps shuffling here. Alright, so far I pulled 2 cards, and I'm going to keep going with a little Celtic cross. Alright. I'm doing a mini one, and I'm going to see if there's any more that wants to come through. But so far, 7 cards have been pulled, so you know. And this is what it looks like, you guys. Set you up there. Okay. The first card. This is going to represent us right now as a collective. We in this together. This is us. Woo! Yeah! Yes! Okay. So, this is a major arcana card. Ooh, 4 is the number of the day. If any of you have had experiences with the number 4, And it says there are 4 of you tuned in right now. I think there are more and it's not showing because there are some of you commenting it's not showing, but 4 is up on my screen nonetheless, so that's all I need to know. 4. This is the 4th card of the deck. I did a reading today that had 3 different 4s in it. In fact, I'll share this with you guys. I was doing readings for myself with my deck, and I didn't realize that I had the Wheel card, which is a major card, missing from the deck for a while. I had set it on a windowsill in a ritual, and I forgot it there. So I've been doing readings without it, which is perfect. It's fine. But today, I returned the Wheel to the deck at a very powerful and pivotal moment. And when I looked at the time, it was 444. So yep, I just did that. I just made that connection. 4 is the number today. And 4 is the number of balance, order, structure, and protection. Very interesting. If you didn't watch my last live video, that one, as well as a couple of my others, have been about protection. So it's interesting that the first one that would come up is the Emperor. I also spoke about my dad and his involvement in my protection, and it's interesting because this is the energy of the divine masculine in action. It's the 4th card of the deck, so it's one of the major arcana cards. It means it's a major secret, and when we pull it, it's being revealed. The Emperor is the perfect man. He's right after the Empress, who is the 3rd card. And he is about taking charge and initiating that order. He protects the order, the divine order. He knows when to take action. It's the energy of war, but in a way that's positive. It's like, what is the war? What's the only thing that we're ever at war with? Ourself, you know. It's a battle between our higher self and the lower false energies that are wanting to overcome it, which they never will. Conviction. So yeah, this is the aggressive energy in a way that is powerful. And I don't know how many of you can relate to this. If you can, please share with me, because this is really important. I've been using anger and using that to transform. Anger can be incredibly transformative, of course, so long as you apply it in a way that is for our highest good, right? So destructive anger, obviously, is not what I'm talking about, but anger in a way that we take the anger and then we transmute it. We use it to cut cords. How many of you have had an experience very recently, or at least in the past, I'm sure all of you have, where you used anger in a way that helped to push you forward? Where maybe you've had attachments, but something was revealed that helped to activate that anger in you to once and for all cut the cord, let it go. That's the energy of this card, of the Emperor. He says to use your anger constructively, to use your passion and your power in ways that are going to move you and the one toward right order, right balance, foundation. If you look at the Justice card in the deck, there's a brooch it's holding the cloak together, and it has a circle and a square around it. The circle represents the circle of life, and the square around it represents the structure and the natural order that protects it. So that's what this card is about, and this is who we are right now. It's time to go out there and make everything right. To use our passion and our anger and whatever powerful feelings we have and put it into something that is constructive and for all of our highest good. If you resonate with this, please share that you do, and share how maybe it relates to you. I would love to hear. So this is where we're at right now. That's only the first of 7 cards, you guys. I definitely relate to that. That is on point for me. The next card, and this card came up in my personal reading. It's been coming up a lot for everybody. It's the 2 of Pentacles, and it's balance. And it is the card of balancing multiple things in this material realm because it's pentacles. So it's like maybe a couple of jobs, or a job and a couple of relationships, or relationships and jobs and maybe a new place to live. But you got a lot going on. We have a lot going on. And this is in the position of the opportunities that are surrounding us. So it looks like what's happening around us and the opportunities around us are ones of balance. It's a balancing act for us right now. We're kind of... Yes, and what just came through is that we are in between 2 different stages right now. Like we're emerging, really the final stage of emerging from the chrysalis. And we're stepping into this new stage of our life. Oh, the first card was this one, hun. For whoever missed it, it was the Emperor. That's who we are right now. That was the only one I pulled so far. Now there's this one. This is what's happening around us. So we are in the middle of two different stages, and and this card comes up a lot when people are in the middle of two different stages like this, where we kind of are still materialistically, like in our material world, acting in an old reality. There's parts of us that are still having to deal with like the old world that we were living, but then we also have our hands in that other cookie jar. We have our hands in like the new reality, the new world that we're now building. So we're kind of balancing two different lives right now as we die to our old self and are born again into the reality that we are more consciously building now. This is what's happening to us right now. And we are the emperor, so we've got all this power building up, and we're also in between two worlds, okay? What is our challenge? What is in the way? Because the challenge is also the gift. So we really want to reveal the challenge, because the power is not so much in the challenge as it is the gift. Because what's on the other side of that challenge as we move through it and pass the tests is much greater. And this also came up in my reading. And it's been coming up a lot for all of you, for many of you, for my collective readings, which means all of us, but also individual readings. The Page of Pentacles. Pages are earth, and pentacles are earth. So it's the earth of earth. That tells me that right now we are going through the challenge of beginning a new cycle in our material world, in our material reality. The challenge is going to be to remain open to new ideas, new ways of building our material reality, new ways of living on this earth. Maybe there's a new place to live, or maybe there's a new path for you as far as career or whatever it is. But something in this very physical reality is wanting to speak to us and tell us that there are new ways to go about it, new ways of walking on this earth. And while we are in this position right now where we're in between two worlds, the only way that we're going to ultimately relieve ourselves of this, juggling act and find one focus is by being open to entirely new ways. Because guess what? These two pentacles that we're holding, we might just throw them both to the wind and say, screw it. I'm going for this one now. I'm doing this. You could see the young man is looking at the pentacle. And no, he's not the knight. He's not the queen, and he's not the king. Because knights are taking action. Queens are connecting their emotions to the situation. And kings are mature in all of that already, all the stages, and they're now beginning to delegate and be an inspiration for others. So we're not any of those yet. We're working our way up. We are facing the page. He is the youthful aspect of this suit. He's looking at that coin and he's mesmerized by it. He's captivated by it, and he's receptive to its message. And that's where we're at right now. We're needing to be open to a new way of living entirely. And I definitely resonate with that. I don't know about you. Boom! Wow. This was the final outcome in my personal reading that I did for me just an hour ago or so. It's a 5 of Pentacles, and this is the card at my foundation. So for me, it was my final outcome. For me, when I say my, I mean ours, because I'm doing the collective reading right now. So for me, this was my final outcome. But for us all, our whole situation right now, our whole life situation depends upon this. And as you can see, the card depicts a couple, and behind them is a church, and they're all beat up. And they look like they've been through a lot, because they have been. But in the back is the 5 pentacles that are lit up like a tree, like the tree of life. There's life. There's more life to be lived. The hope is alit in the window of the church. And they're walking and they're moving forward because they're keeping in mind that faith, that hope, that everything will be okay. And they know that they need to keep going. It's also the card of anxiety. So what I'm feeling with this card being at the foundation for our collective reading, what our situation rests upon, is our need to keep moving forward in despite of anxiety, to really let go of those worries and those anxieties and find that hope again that will keep us pushing forward. That all of the challenges in the end will fade away. And eventually we will find that peace. And we have to know that always. And that knowing, that hope, is what will push us past our anxieties to keep moving toward those things that are for our highest. Those things that we know we're going to keep moving towards. So why stop for too long crying? Cry, release, and then Remember that hope. Remember your potential. Remember your goal, and get up and move forward. And I know that I'm an inspiration for that because I'm a fast processor. We all have our gifts and we all have our challenges. One of my gifts is being a fast processor. It doesn't mean I don't allow myself to cry and to process. I certainly do. But I'm also here as a message and an inspiration to show people that there's a time for crying and there's a time for getting up. And the power is within you. And so this being at our foundation, it's time to remember that strength within us, that we do have the strength to keep moving forward, process, and then keep on going. Remember that faith and that hope, and that's what will keep you going. That's what will get you back up on your feet. That's what I just went through, and that's what we're all going to continue to go through, you know, as is appropriate, in no particular order that we could identify, because this order is divine. It's much bigger than us. We can't say, oh, at this point in my life I might feel anxiety, or at this point. It's not up for you to decide. First of all, our life is still unfolding and we're creating it as we go, right? So we don't know. And another thing I want to say is that with control and with protection and all these things that we're trying to do, there's no real protection in this physical realm. There's no real way to control anything in this physical realm. The only things that we can control and that we should be protecting are those things that are eternal, like our heart and our response from the heart. And when those of us who are control freaks and who are trying to release that now, because I am not that. I am not a control freak. That was an illusion, right? Because I don't want to say I am and solidify it. That's silly. I don't believe that I am that. And that's what counts. But when we tell ourselves, oh, that's an illusion, the illusion of control. But what I do have control over, and that's that hope coming in, what I do have control over is my response to my reality. What I do have the ability to do is to, in each moment, access that strength to keep going. That's the control that I have. No one can take that away from me. And if we continue to tell ourselves this, we can simultaneously release more and more of that tension we've been holding from trying to control everything. Now, what's behind us that brought us to this place? Boom! This is the second major arcana card so far out of 5. So second out of 5. And it's the 5. And it's funny because this is the 5 and it's sitting right next to the Emperor, which is the 4. So this is the past card. The Hierophant. The 5th card of the deck. And it has brought us to where we're at now. And the Hierophant is that, and this came up in a big way for this last moon cycle, you guys. And if you want to check it out, you can find it on my YouTube channel. Just search Rebecca Magick, and you will see that this has come up in the collective readings. And it was all about being our own teacher. And it was when the moon was in Capricorn. So it was really about discipline, this Saturnian energy, discipline, being our own discipline, self-discipline. And we really had the opportunity to access that. And a lot of us did. All of you watching, I'm sure, did. Yay, I love that, Amber. I love that. A lot of you, all of you watching, I know I did, access that opportunity to be our inner teacher and to discipline ourselves. And because we passed that test, we are now on the other side with the new challenge, because that's always what it is. But this is the one. Being our own teacher and just being honest with ourselves and being firm when we need to, and just telling ourselves, snap out of it. This is what the truth is. I want to know the truth. I don't care if it hurts. Whether it hurts or it feels good, all I want is the truth. And accessing that Saturnian energy really brought us to where we are now. Thank you for doing the work. Now, the card that... Whoa! The card that I just pulled was the Future card. And I just shared with you guys the story about the Wheel card, right? And how I just returned it to my deck. Well, guess what just popped up? The Wheel of Fortune. I don't make this shit up. See, you guys know, you've been here the whole time. This is why I do it live, by the way, you guys. I do my tarot readings live because I don't want you to think that I'm making up some silly bullshit. Because the magic is there, and I know, I have conviction. That's why I do what I do. And so going live really enhances that magic. And so, whew, wow. The Wheel. We are stepping into a new cycle right now. This is not the long-term outcome. This is right now. This is what's happening right now. And I know you all know. I know you all know. And Eugenia, you just commented, I knew it would. We're all so in sync. Of course, there's no other way. There's no way around that. And so you all know that we're stepping into a new cycle. I would love to hear how you relate to this card too. And thank you for sharing so far. Daniel, I love that you shared about the previous cards, and please continue to stay open. I'm going to read all these comments after and respond. So I'd love to hear how the Wheel of Fortune is coming to you in your life right now. It's the third major arcana card that we pulled out of 6. So half of these cards are major revelations right now. Very powerful. It says we're going through a big time, especially because this is the Wheel of Fortune. It's a whole new cycle that we're stepping into. The Wheel of Fortune is a new beginning. It's trusting that there are cycles within life, knowing that we're stepping into a new beginning, but that there will always be endings and new beginnings in life. So don't let that take your breath away in a way that it takes your life away. Keep living it. Breathe deeply and then breathe again, and keep breathing that deep breath. That breath that you feel when your breath gets taken away, like, wow, the power of life. This is so powerful, this experience. Keep those deep breaths going, because there will always be cycles. There will always be cycles. And I just want to point out the symmetry here also. This is really magical, you guys. Check this out. There's a 2 and then a 4 next to each other. So half, right? It's being multiplied. 2 and then a 4. 5 and 10. 5, 10, 2, 4. Okay? Then we have another 5 here. 5, 5. 5, 5. 2, 4. 5, 10. And then the 1 in the center, the 1 coin, the page, okay? So far. So numbers, very revealing, very revealing. 5s, 10s, 2s, and 4s, multiplying. This came up in a couple of the readings I did for people today also. Really seeing a lot of symmetry, which reveals our balance, and I love that, because that is what we're ultimately always working toward, is balance, and it's beautiful. So excited to read these comments. They're looking really juicy. I'm really tempted, but I got to keep in the flow and finish up here. I knew it. 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 More balance. There's a 4 that I just pulled, the 4 of Swords. So check it out now, okay? 2 and 4, 5 and 10. 5 and 5. 4. 4, 4. 2, 4, 4, 5, 5, 10. 2, 4, 4, 5, 5, 10. And then the 1 in the center, okay? Wow, that's very powerful. So we pulled all this symmetry, you guys, and I'm going to say a little bit about this card. This is the Crown card. It's at the Crown position, and what that means is it's our ally. It's something that wants to remain at the forefront of our awareness as we move into and through this new cycle. And the 4 of Swords is the card of rest and evaluation, integration. Yes, angel numbers. And I started off this video telling you about the wheel and the 444 when I replaced the wheel. So of course, I pull the wheel and then there's 2 4s in this reading and all the symmetry. It's beautiful. Oh, I love that we get to share this together. It makes it so much more powerful and beautiful. So the 4 of Swords, card of rest and integration, right? What we're needing to remember is that we've been through a lot. Me too. We've been through a lot. And it's time to rest and really let it all sink in. Because unless we can do that, we won't be able to most gracefully access this opportunity to step into the wheel, the new cycle. Whenever we're entering into a new cycle, we're beginning a new cycle, this is a really powerful card and archetype to embody. How can we step into the next thing when we haven't processed the previous thing? It's like death and birth. I actually have a video of this that I'm going to share on YouTube soon, because I don't think I ever uploaded it there, only on Facebook. It's like basically an ode to death and rebirth. And in this video, it's some poetry basically that I wrote about how in order to die, we need to fully die. We need to be fully present with that death. And I'm talking about physical, but I'm also talking about non-physical. I'm talking about the deaths that we go through all the time, the ego deaths that we go through here while we're still alive in these bodies. And so in order to fully live and to fully bloom, we need to fully die. The more present we are with the death of the old self, the more fertile ground we create. We want to really rest so that we can stop, close the door from any more stimulation coming in, sit with what's already there, and really go through each of it. This is kind of what happens when we physically die. I mean, I don't want to claim to know it all. I can only say what's from my heart. But when we physically die, you hear that there's this flash of your whole life before your eyes. Well, that's kind of what's happening in this process when we die an ego death, or when we die while we're still alive, is we have that opportunity to have that flash before our eyes, but with presence and awareness. So we slow it down. And we take that whole cycle that we've been through, and we really sit with it, and we go through everything. We make the most of everything in there. We say, oh, this is what happened to me. Okay, what are the lessons in that? I really want to make sure I get it all. It's kind of like a video game where there are all these little worlds and things, and you can keep going back and getting more gifts out of it, and winning more trophies and collecting more coins and stars. It's like that. When you rest and integrate, that's what happens. You collect all those gifts and those stars and those gems, right? And so what happens then is we get the most lessons out of it, and then we feel this peace. We feel this peace because we can finally understand what we just went through, because we took a second to freaking understand it. If you just pause and breathe, you're giving yourself the space to really process things rather than move forward and keep piling it on. So you sit, you review, we begin to understand. We begin to have this understanding, which leads to acceptance of the situation. That understanding that leads to the compassion for yourself and for all those beings that were with you through that cycle, and for all the experiences you had. You grow that compassion, and you say, wow, any anger or anything that I was holding on to that was blocking me from moving forward, now I can finally put it to rest. I can finally let it die, so that I can create space for the new cycle, to be born again, to do this, to access this in the most graceful way possible without crisis. And so we die, right? And we release those things. And those things, those experiences we had, then we're making the most of it, because they're used as sort of like a fertilizer for the ground in which we're going to plant the seeds for the new flowers to bloom when we rise again, right? So when we rest, when we do this, we really allow for that soil to be fertilized with our old experiences. Rich soil, you know? And then our soil is the most fertile. And then we can plant the seeds of a new beginning and watch them blossom even more beautifully than before. And this is what happens each cycle. So this is a really important part as of each cycle as we end and begin again. The Four of Swords, rest and integration. And it's swords. So it's the mind, it's air, the suit of air. So a lot of that's going to happen in your mind. And, whether that materializes in a very dramatic way or not, doesn't really matter. Yes, it will materialize. It's what's going to actually materialize into your new beginning. So, of course, things are going to shift when you do this. But it does start with the mind. So this card is really asking you to remember to do this in your mind, to really let your mind rest a little bit and process what you've just been through. Because until you do this, you won't step very gracefully into this new cycle that we are all stepping into. We're going in. We're going in, whether you're wanting to or not, but with how much resistance, because that resistance is going to manifest as crisis. So the more you can rest, the more you can release. The more you can rest, the more you can accept. The more compassion you can have to water your garden with, so that your seeds can blossom into the most beautiful flowers. So there it is, the 7-card reading. 3 out of the 7 cards being major arcana, the other 3 being pentacles, and 1 at the crown, which we should keep in mind, which is a swords card, which is thoughts, mind. So it's pretty powerful and clear. And again, the symmetry, the 2, the 4, the 5, the 10, the 5, the 5, the 4, the 4. This is all, very powerful. So 4 is the number today. That tells me that we're really working toward that foundation of truth, like really building a solid foundation now, like learning the lessons that we needed to learn to find where those things, like those things that we're needing to sacrifice, those thoughts and beliefs around what we're needing to do, like control situations or protect certain things. Give it up to God, like give it up to Source, give it up to Creator. All those things are done by and through Him, her, whatever whatever that is to you. I say I say all kinds of things. I refer to it as all kinds of things, but it's really about my belief, like it is about your belief. And so give it up to Source. And just know that you already are in control as much as you can be. You already are protected as much as you can be. And all of the control and protection that we have, it's enough. It's enough. It's enough. We don't need anything more. With the Lord as my shepherd, I shall not want. This is the metaphysical. There is a metaphysical explanation to this, which is what I've been explaining in the past few videos. We have all the control we need. We have all the power we need, all the protection we need, and it's within. And it goes beyond this physical reality. And when we realize that is when we will create a sustainable foundation to build on, right? So I really feel that that's the message through all of this. And that's what we're stepping into with this new moon cycle. I'm really excited to do the new moon reading soon. Amber, this spread is called the Celtic Cross. It's not the full cross. I did a mini one. So I'm really excited to do the new moon reading in a few days. And it is a partial eclipse. And it's one of 2 eclipses that we're going to have this month. So this is a very transformative month. Know that your story is playing out in reflection of a much bigger story, and that really helps to release any tensions or anxieties around the situation, which was our foundation of this reading. So when that new moon is here, I'll be probably doing readings every day, so tune in, you guys. Subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you definitely get the update, because it's going to be random when I decide to do it. And then the new moon reading, the eclipse reading, be prepared. It's going to be really awesome. Maybe you want to bring some special items with you to the reading, have some totems with you, or some paper to write some prayers, whatever you want to do. That way we can set our intentions together. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Thanks for the love. I know we all really need it right now. So don't forget to open up your heart and offer your love. Don't wait for people to ask for it. Just give it. Give it freely, because there's an infinite amount. Our source is infinite. We've got nothing to lose when we give it away. That's the coolest thing, right? So give it away. Like the desert needs the rain, the world needs your love, you need your love, and when you give it, you literally get it back as you're giving it in the same moment, because when whoever is receiving your love receives it, it goes right through their physical body, reflects into their mental body and their emotional body, and then to their spiritual body, and we're all connected there. We're all connected there. So as soon as you're giving your love, it's literally coming back to you. This is not some fairy, fantasy, fluffy, whatever you want to call it. It's real. It's real life. It's science. It's where science meets spirit. It's for real. So in the end, the love that you take is equal to the love you make. So make a lot of love. Get down tonight. Get down tonight. Happy Sunday. May you have a blessed week. Tomorrow is Monday, Moon Day. We're going to have a great week. We're going to have a great life. Pumped to be here with you all. Thank you. And I'm going to post a little summary of this reading in a bit here on my Facebook. So check it out. And don't forget to subscribe to Rebecca Magick on YouTube. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you.